Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight. Friday, 11th of February, 2022. It's Fire Friday tonight, viewers. So get your friends and your family glued down behind the television set on Facebook and on YouTube. So viewers, tonight is a real bacchanal night because the administration of the day, they are telling themselves that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are total idiots. We are not educated. We don't know about society. We cannot move forward in life. You know, long time the old people used to use a word and they say, oh, you're doke dam. Tonight is Fire Friday. 238-6716 is our phone number to call in live on the program to drop your comments. I want to hear from you tonight because it's a bacchanal night tonight with the Coast Guard and with the MP, with the Prime Minister, with Terrence. It's a set of bacchanal tonight, viewers. So call your friends, call your family, let them tune into Real Talk with Saieed Ali live on Synergy Network. Remember, viewers, our office are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. Real Talk Financing and Investment Company is offering you 2.5% on a fixed deposit setup from you in our company. So as we start off tonight, former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith have criticized recent comments by both the opposition leader and the Prime Minister on a recent incident involving a child being killed by the TNT Coast Guard. He stated that the comments by both leaders on the very unfortunate incident sums up why our country is devoid of proper leadership and why we cannot allow ourselves to continue sinking deeper daily. Griffith added that like the opposition leader, Prime Minister also had no right to blindly make statements that everything was done because the only report given to the public is by one party. He also noted that for anyone to make any bold statement to condemn or exonerate the Coast Guard may question or have many questions must be asked and facts must be also be verified. So viewers, like I said, remember I did not condemn the Coast Guard. I ask a question. Were they fired upon? We are hearing that more they were being fired upon. Did they announce through their PA system to switch off your engine and stand still? And if they have identified that that is a migrant boat, why did you fire? Because I will give you instances where when we had the crisis in Venezuela, a lot of migrants were coming across and they were spotted by Coast Guard and Coast Guard never fired at them. Why this incident? There's lots of information to be released, viewers. Lots of information. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
My friend, go right ahead.
I want to ask you something, right? If somebody in the house, right, and a bandit come in the house and they shoot the person 25 times, and when the police come, they find 25 shells, right? The Coast Guard went and put out 20 shells. Isn't that murder?
I understand what you're saying.
When the man entered my house and killed me, and they find 25 shells in my house, and they murder?
I understand, correct, yeah, because the amount of spent shells.
Right, and the amount of spent shells on the boat, on the pirogue, that's like murder.
I understand what you're saying.
When Ms. Kamala said that it's murder, and the next thing too, these people, this guy who's talking on the morning show, Stephen Reyes. He doing all kind of things. He blaming Kamala. You know what he's doing? He's campaigning for the PNM because he's not asking the PNM to make sure that everything's correct. He blaming Kamala one time. Kamala should do this, Kamala shouldn't be there. Was he there? Like when they had the Black Lives Matter thing. Was he there when Floyd was killed? He asked Kamala if she was on the boat. I want to ask him, was he there when George Floyd was killed? Thank you.
I understand what you're saying, but it is not my place to condemn anybody. Any TV host, any media personnel, it is not my job to condemn that individual. Yes, I understand. There's a morning show. He's the host. He have his way in doing his thing. I have my way in doing my thing. So I do thank you for your comments, my friend. But I'm not here to condemn any individual. I'm just here to bring the facts to you. But I understand what you're saying. So here it is, viewers. Bacchanal now start. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali has doubled down on his support of the nation's Coast Guard in the face of criticism of its handling of the maritime incident in which a 1-year-old Venezuelan child was killed and his mother wounded. Opposition leader Kamala Bissasa have since labeled the Coast Guard member a murderer. However, the PM has insisted that the Coast Guard was innocent and that the incident was an accident. Listen to this.
I don't know which officer pulled the trigger, but I know that officer would feel the pain of knowing that the result of that action, that legal action, that appropriate action in defending Trinidad and Tobago resulted in the killing of that child. And to be called a murderer, I reject it, and I reject it.
Now, viewers, yes, we understand that they entered our water illegally. We understand that. They should not have done that. It is wrong. We understand that. Now, there's a lot of information will be coming out in the public domain. And we, being the media, being hosts of talk shows, we have to be careful how we bring across the correct information. Because like myself, I could be labeled for spreading false news. And I don't want to do that. Hence the reason why I have asked on national television that my question was like, were they fired upon? If they were fired upon, it is all well and good for the Coast Guard to fire back in defense. You have identified as a migrant boat. Did you announce on your PA system that, you know what, switch off your engine, this is the Coast Guard, we represent Trinidad and Tobago, you are in unwanted territorial waters, we are asking you to seize your engine or switch off your engine. Things like that. I mean, this is necessary for the Coast Guard to ask. But 20 spent shell? So here it is. The Prime Minister admits that there was traffic between the borders and TNT between Trinidad and Venezuela from both sides.
There is traffic on our borders, especially our southern coast and our eastern coast, going to and from Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of that traffic comes from persons who do not observe the laws of Trinidad and Tobago and take it upon themselves to enter in an illegal way. And I dare say, there are many citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who do the same thing towards Venezuela. So there's traffic going north and south, east and west from Trinidad and Tobago into and out of us.
Now, viewers, like I said, I'm not going to condemn the incident. There's a lot of people I'm talking to, and people are opening up. So, just how the facts come out, we will verify it, and we will let you know. Now, Rowley also mentioned that it was a Coast Guard that managed the borders, traffic between the nations to prevent persons who are coming to TNT illegally from Venezuela. The Venezuelan Guardia Nacional, he said, is tasked with the same responsibility as our Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. The PM then called on the Coast Guard to don't give up and don't be distracted.
It's a time of sadness as well, because we, associated with our Defense Force, our Coast Guard, we today have taken the responsibility of protecting our nation. That protection comes in a variety of ways, but is required every minute of every passing day. I want to say to you, don't give up. We cannot give up, and we cannot be distracted.
Now, viewers, I myself will encourage the Coast Guard to continue doing their jobs. Don't let this one incident bring them down. Because incidents happen with army officials, incidents happen with the Trinidad and Tobago police. Incidents do happen. It is very unfortunate that a life was lost. It is very unfortunate. And condolences to even though they are illegal, condolences to the parents from Real Talk Studios. I am getting information, but I just want to make sure I get all my facts straight before S starts the bus. And I would leave it like that. So here it is. Meanwhile, independent security consultant Anthony Sanjay Badri Maharaj posed several unanswered questions in the aftermath of the incident. So here it is. And some of these questions I ask also on national television. What type of boat was launched by the Coast Guard? That is number one. Number two, how far from the vessel was a TTS Scarborough? Meaning, how far was the Trinidad Coast Guard vessel from the pirogue? Number three, did the Scarborough employ its searchlights? You know, the ships and them will have big lights to spot you out in the sea. That's number three. Number four, did it detect citizens on board? Number five, were they deemed a threat to the Coast Guard? Number six, was there video or radar footage that can verify that Coast Guard was under threat? Number seven, did the shots came from the vessel Dispatch or from the TTS Scarborough? Meaning, the shots came from the Coast Guard vessel after they were shot at? Or did shots come from the vessel that was approaching the TT Scarborough? Who gave the order? Number 8. Who gave the order to shoot? Who gave that order? The senior officer on board the Scarborough or the intercepting CG vessel? So there's a lot of questions need to be answered. Like I said, I am not condemning the Coast Guard. I am not condemning the Coast Guard. I am not condemning the illegal immigrants. A life was lost, and we need answers. We need answers. Caller, good night.
Good night, Said.
Go right ahead.
Remember, Mr. Rowley only talking now about the Coast Guard and they have to protect your water. Who invited these people whether legal or illegal, to
Correct.
come in and register. And they give them TNT ID card.
Correct.
So what's the big fuss about now? They who started the problem.
I understand. Thank you, my friend, so much. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, there's lots more in store right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali. Consultant and real estate businessman.
Can't watch Real Talk on TV? Have no fear. You can also watch Real Talk on the go live on YouTube and Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali on YouTube.com and TT Real Talk on Facebook.com. Don't forget to like us and share us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell.
Are you looking for quick cash and do not know where to turn? We have got the answer for you. Visit us at Real Talk Group of Companies. We are a licensed money lending financial institution. We are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Our phone numbers are 339-1670, 267-7325 or 238-6716. Contact us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you looking for the right investment? Are you looking for a greater return on your hard-earned cash? Look no further. Contact Real Talk Group of Companies. We are conveniently located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Or feel free to visit our newly opened branch at 132 Siparo Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando. Watch your money grow at Real Talk Investment. Earn up to 2.5% interest on a 3-year investment. Don't miss out on this amazing offer. Do contact us now at 238-6716, 339-1670 or 242-7690. Our courteous staff will be happy to assist. Real Talk Investment. Real people matter to us. This ad was paid for by Real Talk Group of Companies Limited.
Yeah. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead. Hello?
The Prime Minister says that they have a lot of traffic between Venezuela and Trinidad, right? We just have to pay for over $5,000 for a traffic ticket when we break the law. It's a charging people $10,000 for breaking the law too.
I understand what you're saying. Well said. Thank you, my friend. Now, viewers, a day after attorneys sent a letter requesting permission for the boatload of immigrants involved in a shooting incident over the weekend to stay in TNT pending the outcome of the investigation. 35 immigrants or 35 migrants have been sent back to Venezuela on Friday. Got the video there? So viewers, this is the video of the 35 migrants being sent back to Venezuela on Friday. Now, the migrants were on board the same vessel as baby Ia Elvis Santoyo, who was killed when Coast Guard officers opened fire on Saturday night. A media release from the Ministry of National Security confirmed that the deportation of the 35 Venezuelans. The ministry noted that none of the migrants were victims of human trafficking, adding that the exercise to send the 35 back home involved the cooperation of the Venezuelan authorities. Meanwhile, 2 locals and 18 Venezuelans were caught by coastal and ravine police this morning trying to enter into TNT illegal. So I believe those are the ones that tried to enter our country this morning illegally, viewers. So those incidents, those boatload of people that you are seeing there, they tried to enter Trinidad and Tobago illegally. I just want you to understand that. They tried to enter TNT illegally. So we have a person of interest tonight before I go further. Oh, my mistake. My mistake. Do apologize for that, viewers. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead, my friend.
You showed a clip where the Prime Minister talking, right? Did he say he didn't know the guardsman who shot at the people? He have a right to know. You see how he lying? He have a right to know who fired the shot. If that happened Saturday, by Sunday, Monday or so, he have a right to bring those people in and find out who fired the shot. He's saying he don't know the person who fired the shot. You see how he lying? Thank you.
Now I'm going to tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Our Prime Minister also holds the portfolio of the Security Council, head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago. I want to let you understand that. I want to let you understand that. So he could make a comment on both sides, addressing the situation as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and also addressing the situation as the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago. So he has to be very careful of how he is speaking. Is he addressing the concerns as the Prime Minister, or is he addressing the concerns as the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago? Caller, good night.
Good evening, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead.
Saieed, you see all these people who are coming out and making statements about this situation in Venezuela. You know, if they sit down and do a little search about migration and migrants and things worldwide, they will understand what really needs to be said and how this situation needs to be handled. Because this could have led to a much more disastrous situation.
Correct.
When these Coast Guard fire anything, let me say, that's the night. Everybody just start to bail overboard. Then you hear tomorrow, in the morning, 15 people drowned because of this action they take. When Coast Guard dealing with situations like this, they have to be properly well trained and understand what they are doing.
Correct.
You don't just put a boat like that with Coast Guard on it to go and just open fire on things like this. This happened already around the world and it was totally condemned and it is deemed illegal. So it's the same thing like police going and just shooting people.
Correct.
And then saying that, oh, well, they try to cover it up. Remember, we had the 3 people up in Belmont with a waiting investigation yet. Remember, over 10 years now, it have this set of the girls and them, they're shooting down Barakpur there. That's still pending with the 6 police officers. And I would like to see if an investigation would be done on this and a report would be made before all these cases and police shooting that they kill civilians in this country. And
well said.
Then citizens of this country have to understand where their priority is and where the priority of this government is. We are not the priority of this country. We are just being used in this country to collect tax and be oppressed, especially by this government. This Coast Guard situation is a very, very ticklish situation. This country might have to pay a lot of remuneration to these people, you know, if this thing is handled properly.
Correct,
because
well said,
I'm telling you, that act of using live ammunition on migrants is illegal. That is condemned worldwide with all the human rights groups and protection for migrants.
Yeah.
Even in America, you can use live ammunition when people crossing borders from Mexico and things.
True.
You understand? So let people keep their mouth a little quiet and let this thing play out itself, because it could have a lot more.
Correct.
Trinidad would have to deal with this situation if it gets out of control. Have a good night, Mr. Saieed. I enjoy your Friday.
Thank you, my friend. Same to you. So true, eh? So true, because Maduro and Guaido have teamed up together to get answers from Trinidad, you know. And the answers, the Foreign Affairs Minister, the Prime Minister, the head of the Security Council individuals, the Coast Guard heads, seniors, they have to know how they're handling this matter. Because Trinidadian fishermen down in the Western Peninsula, they will feel the brunt of it. and any individual from Trinidad go across to Venezuela, let me tell you something, they could be kidnapped. Ransom will have to be paid in US. And have a whole lot of things could come out of this, you know. A whole lot of things could come out of this. So we just have to know, those in authority, they have to know how they're handling this matter. This is not a fly-by-night matter. Not a fly-by-night matter. We're talking about a citizen of another country. Thus far, yeah? But, otherwise I want a boss. Is that child a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago? And was that child returning to Trinidad? I got that information, but I want to make sure. But I sure know that's in the public. Is that child, that 1-year-old baby that was killed, was that child a citizen of Trinidad? I tell you, the thing will get heated, you know. The thing will get heated, you know. I ain't saying not much. But I'm waiting to see. I tell you, news is coming. News is coming right inside is. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali have stated that once the whistleblower legislation is operationalized, the government would examine a reward system to encourage whistleblowers. Rowley stated that the reward aspect is the most powerful part of the program. However, the government did not include it in the legislation just yet. So what they wanted to do, pass the legislation and then include it? You wanted to pass the legislation and then include the reward? You're operating like Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers offer reward for information. Here it is. He added that once the operationalization of the whistleblower platform is established, then a reward arrangement will be made.
I trust that my colleagues wouldn't get up and say, well, the law is deficient because it doesn't involve rewards. We are building a structure here. And I'm giving the commitment, Madam Speaker, I'm giving the commitment that once we establish the whistleblowing platform and the operationalization of it, and we see how it is working, and its acceptance in our society, that we could come back to this house and work out a rewards arrangement, encourage people, Madam Speaker.
You want to pass a legislation for whistleblower, and when you see how that platform is functioning, then you're going to offer a reward. Keith, listen this. Listen this. When you're doing your legislation, set up a paragraph where you would state that the Whistleblower Act or legislation is in effect, and there is a reward for any individuals coming under the whistleblower legislation will receive or a reward for information passing on. You see, add that in your legislation and you will get support. Like I had to tell a to draft all the legislation. Imagine that. Don't put it after, because putting it after will cause a bacchanal. Input it into the legislation, and then you're going to reap reward of the whistleblower bill or the whistleblower legislation. Add it in. I am telling you, add it in. I know why I'm telling you that. Don't create it separate. Because I will tell you something. They create the TTPS and then they create Crime Stoppers. When you go to police to give them information, it's not working. It's not working. TTPS saying the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago don't trust the police. But we have seen incidents. We have seen incidents happen. Now they bring out Crime Stoppers. Nothing against it. Crime Stoppers will offer you reward now for information that goes to TTPS in leading to the arrest of individual. So when I check the legislation that what they're saying, once the legislation come into effect, you will see how the platform working, and then you will set up a reward center. No, add it in one time. Don't make the same mistake like TTPS and Crime Stoppers. Bring it under one umbrella. Don't use two umbrellas. The PM stated that not everyone or every person is engaged in corruption, and that is the law. Now, this law will put an end to it and discourage the instance. Listen to this.
I am not here today, Madam Speaker, saying that this piece of legislation, when passed, will put an end to corruption or will change society in a way that corruption will never occur in our society. But what it will do, Madam Speaker, it will afford the society an opportunity to respond in some significant way, to discourage the instances, to preserve those who will not participate in corruption, and to hold accountable as far as the evidence flows those who make corruption their choice of action.
So they want to create the whole whistleblower legislation. We have TTPS, we have Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers offering reward for information leading to arrest. So I would ask myself now, why is this system not effective? Why? They want a whistleblower legislation for what? For what? For what? Because that same information could go to Crime Stoppers as they are presently offering reward. And that information goes to TTPS. TTPS act, investigate, charge. Is it that one law for the big one and one law for the small one? I'm just asking. Rowley added that TNT is a society where the concept of Mako originated and begin to bring the news as is seen on social media. He also stated that the government was not prepared to protect anybody in this country in regards to this bill.
This government is not prepared to protect anybody in this country. As far as we are concerned, if you want to fill your tub with dirty water or taxpayer water, every tub will sit on its own bottom.
I go unfold something for you just now. However, later on in the PM's presentation, that same day, he called on persons who know something to say something and vowed to protect whistleblowers.
This bill says that in every criminal action in this country, especially inside of institutions, in the government, in the state enterprises, and out there in the streets, somebody knows. And what this bill is asking us to do is to encourage those who know that if you know something, say something, and this country will protect you as far as we are able to. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
this country will protect you as far as they are able to. But you just heard me play the same PM saying that they are not prepared to protect you. So I want to know now, are we jiggling balls? You telling me come outside, here what's going on. I want you to come out and say what you're seeing that happening under the table. Now Saeed, when you come out and say something, what happening under the table, remember your life is at risk because you choose to come out. You choose to come out. So if you see something, say something. And now you want to tell me here now that we are not prepared to protect you, Saeed. Hence the reason why we have murder witness being murdered in Trinidad, because nobody ain't protecting nobody. You're now begging me, if I see something, come out and say something. We go protect your side. The country go protect you. The police go protect you. It doesn't matter what cause. If you see something, say something. But here now, you telling me, side boy, if you come out and say something, there problem end up. We can't protect you. So what are you really trying to tell me to do? Is that come out and say something, you go protect me, or you're not protecting me? Which one? If I come out and say something, I had to protect myself because you telling me you are able to protect me. So why am I going to open my mouth for somebody to kill me? That is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is also the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago, advising us to come out and then saying we're not protected. You better you tell me, say, I don't eat no food, you're going to starve. Call her good night.
Yes, Saeed, good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, I don't usually agree with the Prime Minister. But you see, in this instance with this migrant child, the man have a point. You cannot go and plaster the Coast Guard as murderers. You cannot do that because I'm going to tell you why. Let me refresh Trinidad and Tobago memory. You remember last year when we was on this lockdown, right? You remember how people was coming out and bashing the Coast Guard to protect the borders, to stop them from coming in the country because people getting COVID and the borders locked down right through. You remember this, right? And the Coast Guard come on and say they had no vessels to patrol the waters and they had to recently get vessels, right? Now we live in a society where if you're damn, you get bashed, if you don't, you get bashed. So the people know how to do the work. How them supposed to know that they have a baby on board? The only reason why that baby get killed, Saeed, is that blame has to go on the parents. You cannot blame the Coast Guard for that thing.
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Because everybody coming out and saying that's how the Coast Guard wrong and they have an investigation. But what are they doing in our waters in the night? That is the same waters where the illegal drugs is coming, the illegal guns is coming, the human trafficking is coming. You don't know what is on that vessel coming into our country. And if that is the people we are stopping the vessel, that is their protocol. We don't know what happened out there.
Correct.
And the opposition leader coming out now and saying that is murder and all kind of thing. She needs to get facts. You need facts before you come out and make them kind of dotage statements in the public domain.
That is why, my friend, I haven't said or condemned anybody as yet.
Right. No, you're right for that.
Yeah.
You're right for that. No, listen to me. When the Coast Guard and them going through all this now, you think them going out there to stop any other migrant vessel from coming into Trinidad side? They don't want to go out there and do that again. Because they could lose the work, they could get locked up, all kind of things can happen. People need to understand what is going on in this country, boys. People, and listen, you're saying that they have a S, that the child is a Trinidad citizen, right? What the child go in Venezuela and come back here for? Then period is a PH taxi to go Venezuela and come back here?
In a later date, my friend, have some info that we can drop in the public domain.
Right, now understand what I'm trying to say. The blame of the child being killed have to go on the parents for putting the child on that vessel. They cannot blame the Coast Guard for that. And I agree with Pete Rowley with that.
The big question is, why was a 1-year-old baby on the boat?
Exactly.
1 year old.
Exactly. How the Coast Guard supposed to know it have a 1-year-old on a pirogue? Suppose them stopping the period and the period going to stop and them thinking the period of transporting illegal guns and drugs. And them solution is to shoot the engine, and by shooting the engine, somebody get hit in the process. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? The people have protocols to follow. And everybody coming and talking about, oh, they should have an investigation and this and that. Yeah, me and say no. But they need to understand. Put the shoe on the other foot. If Trinidad was in a crisis and we had to flee to Venezuela, what do you think the coast guard in Venezuela would have done to Trinidadians? Do you answer that question and tell me? Anyway,
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, caller. Thank you so much. That's why I ain't condemning nothing yet. I ain't condemning. I just ask certain questions. And you see, an attorney now, and after I ask certain questions on television, live on our program, today an attorney came out and started asking questions. Because you know what? I asked the correct thing. I asked the correct thing. I didn't condemn anybody. I asked the correct thing. But just keep in mind, Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister, the President of Venezuela, and the opposition heads, they want answers as to what took place with their citizens on the waters. In Trinidad waters, they want answer. Because shots were fired, a baby was killed, and both sides will be in negotiation now. Otherwise, it's bacchanal. It's bacchanal. So all you tell all yourself, that's a bacchanal? Well, hear this one now. You know, Fire Friday, we just have it hot. And you're only getting, watch me, you're getting chulha hot and real talk with Saieed Ali, you know. Here it is. The Ministry of Finance and the National Insurance Board, NIB, are discussing whether or not to increase the retirement age from 60 to 65. Let me tell you something. You will be 64 years and you're walking in your business, you're walking in your business like this. All I feel is joke. During an inquiry into the audited financial statement of the NIB for financial year 2014 to 2020, Acting Permanent Secretary Jennifer Lachman said the ministry is considering making this change. Listen to this.
At this point, what is engaging our attention is moving the retirement age from 60 to 65, and as Fiat indicated, the approach must be gradual and consultative. So we are currently engaging in, as the ED said, the different scenarios, the current economic situation, the situation with contributors, with employees, and looking to determine what kind of solution that would be palatable.
We do apologize for the audio viewers, but that was the best we could get. We do apologize for that. Now, however, NIB Executive Director Naila Prasad Polaha stated that the ministry cannot yet say when the implementation will take place, as Minister Colin Imbert are now reviewing some of the ideas being put forward by the NIB. So those of you who think that you would go home at 60 and collect your pension or your NIS, you have to work 5 years more if this comes into effect. So here it is. She suggested 3 major changes, which was the change in retirement age, the adjustment of the contribution rates, and that the minimum pension be frozen until it becomes relevant to change. So if they freeze your pension, that is a problem. If you change retirement age, is a problem. And if they make adjustment to contribution, it is a problem. I will tell you why. Listen to this.
We have recommended, and the actuarial review, the actuaries have recommended, one, a gradual increase in the retirement age from age 60 to age 65 over a period of time. Two, the adjustment of the contribution rate, which right now stands at 13.2%. The recommendation was that it moved gradually from 13.2 to 14.4, 15.6, and then at 16% over time, of course, remember. And the third thing was, of course, to freeze the minimum pension, which right now stands at $3,000, to freeze the minimum pension until it becomes relevant.
What you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, have to say. Now, we're going to have a discussion just now. NIB Chief Operation Officer Saieed Khan said the aging population is not only a reality for Trinidad and Tobago, but other countries around the world. He stated, by changing the retirement age, people will be contributing longer, and the benefits are paid for a shorter period of time. Listen to this.
By changing your retirement age, two things happen. One, you have persons contributing for longer. So you have, you will see an uptick in the contribution income. And two, benefits will be paid for a shorter period of time. So you would see that number over time declining. So that's why, as an actuary, it's a recommendation that we put forward time and time again as the most impactful step in ensuring the sustainability of the system.
All I heard what that gentleman said just now. You work more, contribute more, and you get less. You get less. If they're moving from 60 to 65, you ain't sure to get it. Because you ain't sure to live 5 years longer. Hey, let me tell you something. If we wasn't running out of time, you see, this particular thing, we'd have a discussion. 3 major changes. Change in retirement age, change in contribution rate, and freeze minimum pension. All people are already collecting pension. That is what they need to survive because they have already worked all their life. You want to seize it now? That is problem. 2, you want to change the contribution. When you change the contribution, employees have to pay more. Employers have to pay employees more. Which would lead Trinidad and Tobago to the cost of living going up. Because if I, as an employer, have to pay my employees more money so that their contribution to NIS would go up as they want to, well then the goods that I am selling for $5 will have to go up for $10. And when that goods go up for $10, meaning the person transporting that goods to me will carry up that delivery price. Did they ever look at it like that? No. No. Because if they did look at it like that, these 3 suggestions that they want to go with would have never come to their mind. You see, I will tell you something. To every good there's a bad. And to every bad there's a good. You want to know why I say that? Say it like that? When you have a bandit living in a family, hear how the bandit family will live happy. That individual will go out and rob people, terrorize people, and take their words and bring it in his house so his family will become good. So that bad creating are good for his family because they're getting money to live a lavish life. Flip that around. When that bandit, that pest, killed by the police now, the society becomes good because one pest less. But the family, they end up the bad one. They would start blaming Tom, Dick, and Harry. That is why I made a statement like that. Let's think it easy. So all these pensioners now, who collect pension at 3,000, what they want to do? They want to freeze it? And when they interfere with the contribution, employers have to contribute more money. Employee have to pay employers. Employee product automatically will go up. When their product go up, the transport going up, and that's it right there. It's a whole cycle all over again of cost of living going sky high again. Sky high again. Because the delivery have to pay more diesel, more gas. And in order to pay more diesel and more gas, delivery will become expensive. So it's a whole different scenario again by interfering with these three things. Once these three things come into effect, let me tell you something. Cost of living, it's going to rocket. It's going to rocket. And then seizure of pension, what are they going to do with the old people? How much thousands of people collecting pension? What is that going to do with them old people now? Who going to support these old people? If Colin Mbut put this into effect as how he made property tax into effect with a penalty, let me tell you something. We Trinidadians, we're going to be worse than Ethiopia. Worse than the desert in Africa. All I feel is joke. And look who had to pass it, Colin Mbut. The same Colin Mbut who exempted himself from property tax from the big building and brought a penalty on you, the poor people. If you ain't paid, you are going to submit your valuation to pay property tax, you're going to pay a fine of 5,000. Let me tell you something. They will really have to send a letter to send Saieed to court. Take what I'm telling all you. Take what I'm telling all you. So if this thing comes into effect, Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. What is called? This blue salt. Blue corn, where this is a fertilizer for fruits and things. Corn. You ever hear about blue corn? Corn tree and peas tree and orange tree and thing is a vitamin for them tree. All you got to buy plenty of that and stock it up. Because your cassava ain't going to come in time to eat. I just give all you a little heads up on what going to be coming shortly. I think it's easy. It's easy, you know. You work hard and you collect less according to the last video. Set up the age from 60 to 65, you're working longer. When you hit 65, you ain't sure to live for what? 70. And you know what happened? Boom, shot. Doomsday pick you up. The angel of that passed to you. So here it is, viewers. Children in TNT are at risk. I don't know how more foolish the Alcin could get. Children of TNT are at risk of mumps, measles, and rubella outbreak as vaccine coverage for the category drops below herd immunity level amidst the pandemic. Minister of Health Terence Diazing stated that the ministry has seen a significant drop in the number of children accessing the mumps, measles, and rubella vaccine. And they are trying to prevent an outbreak of the disease, including yellow fever.
It is with very deep concern that I now tell the national population, because I asked for the figures, that we have seen a significant drop in the number of children accessing the mumps, measles, and rubella vaccines. We are now down to about 83 and 85%. whereas herd immunity for that same was 95%. But we want to prevent an outbreak of mumps, measles, and rubella, and all other childhood diseases like yellow fever. Yellow fever, we are down to 85%.
The other thing added, that he is appealing to parents of children who are not vaccinated to ensure they do not expose their children to any of these diseases.
My fear that these numbers are not good enough, and we are appealing to parents of school-age children, primary school-age children who are not vaccinated as they would have been to get into schools. Even though those primary schools are not as yet open, let us rally around our children and make sure we don't expose them to mumps, measles, rubella, yellow fever, or polio, or any other of the childhood vaccines that we normally give our children freely and without much thinking.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to address Terence Dialsing live on my program. Mr. Terence, the reason why people are not going to the hospital is because all you being the minister or you being the Minister of Health, together with your entourage, forming the Ministry of Health, they are fearful. They are fearful to go to the hospital because of what is taking place presently in the pandemic. You think if I have a little cold, you think I go in the hospital? Hear this. Are you hearing me? Achoo! If I only go in front of the hospital like that, you know where's that side you have COVID going that end? Go in that tent side, you have COVID. I just come to get my yearly shot. Or my yellow fever shot. Or I come with the baby. Achoo! Everybody scatter one time as you sneeze in the hospital. As you sneeze, dies it. You have a little cold, dies it. You see that white tent? Go and sit down, they come and they test you. That is the fear, Mr. Terence. You all input in the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And today, you come up to keep a briefing, to tell the people, you see a drop in it? You see a drop in children being vaccinated? Because you all input a fear. And the kind of thing that is being taken place in hospital now, people don't want to go. What do you expect? What do you expect? I understand your job is to come out and notify the people, yes, we have seen a drop. But what caused the drop, Terence? Don't blame COVID-19. Blame the drop on the action that took place in hospitals. Numerous times people call on the program to complain about Point Fortin Hospital. A couple of weeks ago, I launched a 5-member team to investigate the hospitals if the hospitals were under the COVID-19 protocol and administering properly. Boom shot by Thursday next week coming, they want to change point from a COVID to a normal hospital. And after that, they might go up to Arima. And after that, they might go up to Sandy Grande. So how the hell now, Terence? I want to find out how these 5 people that you have assigned to find out if the hospital were running under the COVID-19 policy come up with an investigation. How, Terence? How? How in God's world will that happen? I just wonder if I'm stupid and you dotish, or you dotish and I dotish. This is what I just wonder sometimes. I'm telling you, I just have to wonder this. You launch a 5-team member to find out if the hospitals are following the proper COVID-19 protocols. As you launch them, they give them 2 weeks, you're starting to change hospital from COVID-19 hospital to normal hospital. I could tell you something. I will tell you something. Not because you are the minister, not because you holding the title of a minister, would input a fear into Saieed Ali to afraid to come on my platform and challenge you on national television. That thought you had in your head, take it out. Take it out. Not because you hold the title of a minister means Saieed had afraid to challenge you, Let me tell you something. You just opened doors for me to challenge you. That is what you did. Because I'm not one of them normal businessmen, I am not one of them normal citizens, I am normal, So viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, I just want you all to enjoy the weekend. Until we meet again for Mashup Monday, be safe and good night.